Rainbow Six Siege. Anytime I go back to play a game, whether it's been a month or a year, I try to go in with excitement or at least an indifferent opinion. I had really high hopes for Siege. I had gotten it when it was first released a little over a year ago, but quickly learned how shallow of a game it was. With a large lack in content and only a handful of operators, the game felt truly unfinished. From the first few hours of playing the game, I knew that the new smell would wear off quickly. But the base structure of the game was outstanding. The destructibility alone was a masterpiece, the likes of which I hadn't seen in a game before. It makes for a wonderful tactical shooter, though in the beginning, everyone really just did run around with a shotgun. And this left me with mixed feelings. I did enjoy my time with it, but in the end, it was traded for another game. So now, with the free weekend here, I figured I'd give it another try. Man, was I disappointed. I figured, if nothing else, the bugs that plagued the game at launch would be fixed. No! Not at all! Same crap, different year! Though, before I tear this game apart, I should give it some credit where it deserves it. Like I said, the amazing environment. Absolutely a ton of fun. The maps are well thought out with a ton of detail. This makes perfect sense for a tactical shooter, with multiple points of attack and defense. The way you play the game could differ greatly each match. Unfortunately, this is never the case. Longtime players have a set course or location in mind every time they play to give them the greatest advantage. Now, the actual mechanics are well thought out, the guns feeling like their real world counterparts. With this in mind, please check your stats with each class to learn how aggressive or defensive you should play. Finally, the atmosphere feels very real as you wait for the impending assault or prepare to attack yourself. Waiting, watching, every footstep testing your nerves, knowing that more often than not, the one with the most patience will come out on top. Now, if this sounds exciting, then I don't blame you. When the game is working and balanced, you are in for an amazing ride. But these moments are far and few in between. The question is, why is that? Well, that's where all the problems come into play. And it means, unfortunately, I'm going to spend most of this review trashing what should have been a gold standard game. And where to start? The wait times are ridiculous. I have seriously waited 10 plus minutes for a single match, with the average wait times being between 5 and 6 minutes per match when starting multiplayer up for the first time. Now, if you're lucky and you'll stay with the group you join, the wait time drops to about 3 to 4 minutes. This is a huge downfall though, especially when you can run across the team of what seems like pros, who drop you in less time than it took to find the match in the first place. This constant greater wait time to actual gameplay is just awful. This alone makes me bash my head in frustration. And oh, it gets much worse. A perfect example of this is I'm playing a match and the score is tied, and then out of the blue, the game drops me like a bad habit. I receive a message, server failure. Now I'm furious. On top of ridiculous wait times, the servers are unstable to the point of being unplayable. Because, heaven forbid, a game that relies on a full team would have a full roster on either team half of the time. The servers are so bad that you find yourself down a teammate or two every other match. Honestly, talking about this kind of playability in a game just makes my blood boil, so we'll move on. Now, something that could be seen as my own problem is the skill level of longtime player versus newcomers. This is straight scary sometimes. It's no fault to anyone, but some people take this game very seriously, and this is a good thing, but they are brutal. Like I said, a match can last literally 3 minutes max, at a minute per round. The winning team only need to score 3 points. It's crazy, and it makes one hell of a learning curve. Truly a trial by fire. And finally, this ties in with the lack of overall content. But the cost of new gear and vanity items, plus the new classes introduced, are massive. And worse yet, you can buy these classes with real money. The new classes are very strong and used by experienced players or anyone with just some money to spare, which is sad. And it's things like this that push newly interested players away. So when you see Year 2 Season Pass on the front page, it makes you think, why am I spending money on a game that can't even fix its launch problems? I could keep going, but there really is no point. I did enjoy the matches I got to play, so overall was not a complete waste. But I would stay clear of making a purchase. Honestly, at this point, if they haven't fixed the issues, don't expect them to, especially with a new Tom Clancy title releasing this year, which looks really good, and I hope it does not receive the same treatment as this game has in the long term. Overall, it's sad to see a game treated like this. What could have been a great experience ruined by a lack of care, which doesn't show in other aspects of the game. You can only think what was going on through the developer's mind. What was their intention? Or was this to be blamed on a greater force, possibly a publisher time frame? We may never know. And in time, unless some major changes are made, this game will fall into obscurity. Please, if you have an opinion either way regarding Rainbow Six Siege, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. And if you enjoyed the video, leave a like and please subscribe.